Hi, I'm Emily Walsh. We're here today at the Creighton University College of Business with Tim Bastian, who's a professor of economics here. And today we're going to be talking about minimum wage. So Tim, you're an instructor of economics here at Creighton, teaching 4 classes each semester, and you're also an investment advisor with Mandarin Investments here in Omaha.
Yes.
How do you juggle all of that?
Well, it sounds like a lot, and people often will say, Tim, well, how do you handle all this at once? And what works out great for me and for my students and for my clients is that I'm really talking to them and teaching them about the decisions that they have to make with the resources they have, and many times that's their money or their career decisions, but it's all really about the same type of topic, that you're making good decisions based with limited resources. So there's actually an awful lot of overlap there for my clients as well as my students. They just happen to be at very different places in their lives.
Alright, so you're evaluating public policy from both an academic point of view as well as a business point of view. Are those two views compatible?
Well, and I get that question a lot as well, to say, how can you say you're looking at public policy from the academic point of view, the business point of view, and I would also say even the human point of view as well. At Creighton, we're very much involved in talking about dignity of people and making sure that policies are set up so that folks can live a productive life. But at the same time, what I found is that good public policy not only can be viewed from a business standpoint, but from an academic standpoint, and the goals are actually all the same. So when I look at that, and I'll look to see certain types of policies that are out there that are maybe bad for business, a lot of times they end up being bad for people too.
Okay. So I've been told that one of your favorite sayings is incentives matter. Can you give us an example of that?
Sure. It's funny. I was hoping that was going to be that one and not another one. But one of the things that we've talked about this year is the change in the minimum wage. And the minimum wage law, which in its essence was intended to be something good for people with low incomes. But what's happened and transpired over the last 30 years especially is that we've seen people without skills. And I like to kind of point to those people that say, maybe categorize them as people that never made it through high school. What we found out is that these laws were intended to help them, to bring them up to what some people will call a living wage. They've actually had the exact opposite effect. The unemployment rate right now in the United States for people without a high school education is almost 16%. And when you look in some inner cities and minority communities, it tend to be hit even harder. African American teens right now have an unemployment rate of over 42%. So again, these policies were well intended, but it has an effect because we all make decisions, rational decisions, based upon the information that we get. Businesses will look to see that if they have a choice between adding labor, hiring workers, or hiring new machines, bringing on new automation, they're going to make the same decision that you would make if you were going to the grocery store intending to buy Pepsi, but found Coke was on sale. So what's happened is that we've really put an extra price on the low-skilled workers. And acting rationally, businesses have chosen to not buy that and instead buy technology instead. There's got to be some better ways, and one of the things that I think is I'd rather see, if the government's going to do this, I'd rather see them subsidize the business to pay part of the wage rather than just mandate the wage.
So you're saying there's a better way to help low-skilled workers?
Absolutely. And again, this goes back to the idea of unintended consequences. We saw this with the housing crisis that we're in the midst of right now with the banking problems. So many of these policies were well intended. We can trace back a lot of the problems in the housing industry and the mortgage industry to trying to get the home ownership rate for Americans higher and higher. We reached the peak of 65%. Unfortunately, probably the last 10% of those people probably weren't well equipped to have a mortgage and to own a home, financially speaking. And now we've kind of gotten into this big mess where it's probably going to take at least another year and a half or two to just get us back to an unemployment rate down under under 10%.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see where that
Absolutely.
goes. And thank you for your interview.
Thank you. You bet.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to visit our blog, follow us on Twitter, or start up a conversation on Facebook.